Grace Point. All right, let's just jump right into this one with the IMDb plot to start. A young man on his way to a remote drug rehab finds himself in a strange town being chased by the locals as well as his own personal demons. All right, being chased by those locals. Rough stuff there. All right, so a couple of things off the top here for you guys to know. Grace Point is a new movie coming out, and I was given the screener for this one, so this is a screener review. It has a big twist and turn in it, so I will try to avoid that as much as possible, try to make this as spoiler free as possible. I will also let you know at the top, this is, according to IMDb, a drama thriller, and I'm going to go along with that, not necessarily horror, not involving any blood and guts and so forth that I usually like to see here. So this is kind of more along the lines of a thriller and so forth. So, it is maybe, close to the borderline there. Not really horror, but close enough. Still interesting film enough. And as for that twist and turn, it definitely wraps things up and makes the film worth watching. And the only thing else I could say, without getting too much into that in the realm of giving it away, I think this is certainly a film. I not diving into why it was written, why it's done, and so forth. But I definitely think it's a good film for definitely a good film for a certain audience out there. Again, I don't want to say specifics because then that might be giving kind of this away, but it definitely ends up being a very good story once you kind of see the twists and turns. But going back to the beginning to kind of give you guys a little bit about what this film is, what's going on in this film. Again, early on, you're going to introduce to a young man and his father. They're kind of on a road trip. You quickly kind of get the going that things are uneasy between the two. Things have been tough, not easy. As we, find out, the boy has his struggles. He struggles with drugs, trying to get away from that, trying to better himself. So they're kind of on this road trip, and it kind of gets away from them. They pull over to the side of the road, get involved in something kind of shady going on there, and the father ends up getting shot, and the boy ends up running for his life. In the process, the boy kind of does what many people do these days when an event kind of goes on. There's some people that run, some people that hide, and other people that may try to go and save a person in need. And then there are those that pull out the phone and start recording. So he was one that pulled out the phone and started recording, and the bad people involved here saw that he did that. So that kind of makes them really mad at him, and he's a witness. So we proceed to go on this chase. I'm not gonna say it's a high action chase. High action thriller here. It is a little give and take. It comes and goes. But nothing's, super action film kind of thing here. He's kind of just, running through the forest, running to a couple of houses. Again, they're in a kind of smaller town area. So, he's kind of going through some forest, going through some small homes, coming across some individuals. When we kind of get that, when they say locals, you kind of get that kind of feel. I'll let you go with what you think locals are. But as he's kind of going through, you're kind of seeing things a little bit odd. He does get a little help. some people are more helpful than others as he tries to escape. Obviously, he's concerned about his father and not sure whether he died from that gunshot or not. But these bad guys make it clear that they're after him. They want his phone and so forth. So we kind of have that cat and mouse chase um, going on. So that kind of occupies a lot of the film as he kind of um, is trying to get away from these guys. And again, maybe receiving some help, not receiving some help, and so forth. You learn a little bit about him and so forth, and his struggles as he's going through this. So this is something he's battling through as he's trying to escape, and trying to find help in some way. And obviously these bad guys, this is a smaller town area. They're kind of the dominant people here in this area here. So, there's not too many people that are going to be so much willing to go against them. So he is going to find help, but, limited help in that and try to escape. And then, we eventually find out, of course, does he escape? What happens and so forth. Again, like I said, there is a very nice twist at the end of the movie. So I don't want to give that away and get too much into that. But like I said, as story-wise, like I say, it's not a high action thriller and so forth like that. There are, moments here and there. They don't get into anything overly crazy here. As I was watching it, it is, a solid movie. Things are okay. I think there's at least a familiar face or two to some in this movie, so that might help. So, you're kind of watching it, and again, I'm heavy on the horror here. So, with the absence of that, I kind of like, okay, this movie is, we're kind of going along. It's okay. I see what's going on and so forth. Again, without, saying what it is, I think, once you hit that twist or whatever, I think, then the picture opens up, and then you go, okay, now you see why this is happening, what's going on, and really wraps up the film and makes it much more solid. Then, and kind of stand out in a different way, and gives the film meaning, and just kind of gives you that explanation point on the movie. I think had it been a more typical ending, or maybe something, maybe you would have kind of thought was coming in. Not to say that you guys might not catch what's really going on here. I think some might and can. I really wasn't looking for a twist, so it didn't necessarily cross my mind. But I think once that kind of happened, it kind of opens the door, and then really, like I said, gives a good explanation mark on this film, and then you kind of see, okay, what everything we went through. We just didn't go through and watch, oh, well, this is just the same old movie I already saw, and whatever, and like, as far as, I guess, another thing that you really want to do is care for the young man here. And I would say it's a little bit back and forth. Not that you don't like him, but, did you, really, really care for him? I don't know. It's, I don't know that I did. I overly did. So, obviously you're kind of rooting for him and to get out of the situation. But I'm kind of back and forth on that. I don't know that I really was. So maybe they could have pushed that a little bit more. Maybe in the opening, or maybe with some of the other stuff. I don't know. I also thought, like I said, he does get a little bit of help from an individual for a certain point in the movie. And I definitely thought that was a unique relationship, an interesting thing that kind of carried, that kind of helped out. It helped out, get some points across, and and also kind of showed, a little bit of character, and helped give the boy some choices as he went along here as well. So you learn a lot about him from beginning to end. Uh, Even though I don't know, maybe if they would have talked maybe a little bit more about his history or some of his struggles. I mean, you kind of grasp it, but maybe if they maybe took a little bit deeper dive into that, uh, maybe you would have felt a little bit more for him, or at least me. I know it is a lot on me. I struggle to care about characters a whole lot because I usually watching the slashers and just waiting for them to die, so you don't really care. But again, non-horror, more of a thriller. Um, I again, I think some of the conversations between him and this person helps. Is a solid part of the film that kind of carries some things. There's maybe a little tension, little suspense here and there. Obviously, you have these guys chasing them and so forth. But I think if you're going through this movie and at any point you're kind of like, oh, maybe I just want to stop here. I don't know where this is going, whatever. I would say wait to the twist and let that happen. And obviously, this is going to come at the end, so you probably end up watching the whole movie anyway. But still, I think, again, the twist kind of makes the movie worth watching, and then you kind of see, everything that there is here in this story, why this movie is, and so forth. Um, so again, I don't want to give that away, kind of spoil it and talk about it and so forth, since this is a new film that's coming out, so that you guys can enjoy that and see that. So with that, I think I'm going to give this one three pools of blood. I think had the movie kind of ended in a different fashion, I would probably lean to two, but I credit them for the twist, and I credit them for doing that, as opposed to kind of going down maybe a different avenue and so forth, and giving them a little credit for making it an important movie, an important viewpoint because of that twist, and so forth. So that is three pools of blood out of five. So with that, horrorsquarereviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews, written and video. Certainly mostly video reviews, so you can like, subscribe, and do everything else that everybody wants to do here on YouTube. But if not, no worries, it is okay. I thank you for your time regardless. Twitter, Facebook, information down below as well, so you can join me there, talk about this movie, other films, something you want me to review, and definitely in the comment section. Once you guys see this movie, you want to comment on it, let me know what you guys thought. And certainly I will try to remember to include, I have a press release for this movie on Promote Horror. Try to include that down below as well, so you guys can get more information if you're looking for where you guys can find it, and release date, and any other information about the film that you need. So with that, I will catch you on the next review, horror fans.